All right, I'm back at the house. Finished my 12-hour drive from Regina. Nationals just ended. So, 5-day event. We had 2 rounds of men's doubles, 2 rounds of women's doubles. We had singles in there as well, 2 rounds of mixed doubles. We got to watch a lot of pro games played. So, how did me and Irene do? Let's get right into it. Pickleball Diaries, episode 13. Let's go.
Oh, what a shot.
All right, hey everybody, we're here at the Trade Center in Regina for the day one of the Nationals. You can see a bunch of the courts behind me. We got the championship courts over there. That's my partner Gilbert behind me there. Me and Gilbert got men's 3.5 today. Irene's got her women's 4.0 and up. Her and her partner Stacy are going to be playing later today at the hub, so we'll get some footage of that over there later. And they're going up against Kim Layton and Christina Chin right off the hop, so that's an insanely tough matchup for them, but hopefully they can put on a good performance for that. All right, we'll check in with you guys later. Stay tuned.
Slide out.
Hey guys, we just finished up for the day. Unfortunately, me and Gilbert just fell short of getting a medal. We got finished in fourth. We lost the game that would have gotten us into the bronze. So, not a bad showing. There were some good teams in that division, but I would have liked to get Gilbert a medal there, but that's on me. I found when I was on playing on the left, I wasn't aggressive enough. There's a few shots I could have poached on that, but we'll get to that in the final overview. Irene and Stacy played pretty good. They had a tough match off right off the hot. They had Kim Layton and Christina Chin, and they lost 11-3, 11-3, but they had some good rallies in that game. Won their second match, 15-7, and then they lost to probably who's going to be the eventual bronze medalist in Anna Deshenko and her partner for to knock them out of the B side. So they were using that one more as a litmus test to see where they were standing against some of these elite women players. So pretty good showing with that. So we're done for the day. We're going to take the kids to the Sky Park here, and we'll check in with you guys tomorrow. All right, good morning, everyone. It's day two of the Nationals here in Regina. We're in the Pickleball Hub today. We're playing in the 4.0 to 4.5 categories. Right now, all around me here is just a bunch of 4.5 and up players playing in the open brackets. So, seeing some really good games. So, me and Irene are going to start in about a half hour here, and we'll keep you posted. Stay tuned. Hey, everybody. So, we're done for the day. Me and Irene finished fourth in that 4.0 to 4.5 division, fell just short of the bronze medal game. Lost our last match 15-13 to a really, really good team. It was an amazing game to play. We actually had lots of really, really good games. Just finished watching Chapman and Layton win the gold in the Open, and that was an amazing match to watch. I recommend you checking it out on YouTube. All right, so we're done for the day. We're going to take the kids out somewhere, and then we'll see you guys in a little bit. Hey everyone, it's day 3 here in Regina. Well, I was supposed to be playing men's 3.5, but my partner no-showed, didn't call, didn't text, didn't tell the tournament. So I was standing there on the court by myself against the other team looking like an idiot. I hope nothing too bad happened, but a text would have been nice. I can deal with a lot of stuff. I can deal with a partner I've never met before not being super strong. You're still out there trying. There's one thing I don't really put up with, and it's not showing up and not letting your partner know. Like, I drove 12 hours to be at this tournament, so I'm trying really hard not to swear right now. So Irene's got her women's singles in 4.0 later today. I think we're going to go watch Christina Chin play in her singles right now. And I'll check in later today. Super frustrated right now. I'm really trying not to swear. So I'll end it there, and I'll talk to you guys later.
There you go.
Hey everybody, so we're done for the day. Irene was in the bronze medal match in the 4.0, lost in 3 sets, so that's 3 4th-place finishes in 3 days for us. Apparently the guy I was supposed to team with this morning was at work and didn't get a flight out, but a text message would have been nice. So kind of a somber day to finish off with, but I got singles tomorrow in the 3-5. Irene's playing 4-0 with her partner Choi tomorrow, so we'll check in tomorrow and see how we do. All right, morning everybody. So it's day 4. So I got my men's 3.5 singles here at the hub today. Irene's got her women's 4.0 with Choi over at the Trade Center. So unfortunately, we won't be able to watch each other that much until later in the day. So feeling good, feeling pumped, and I'll update you guys later with how it goes.
Potential gold medal point.
All right, hey everyone, we're halfway through day 4. I just finished my men's singles a little while ago. Didn't make it to the podium. Lost my first match in 3 sets. Really good match though. No blowouts or anything. Went down to the B side and had to play a familiar face, and was down 10-4. Managed to call back to make it 11-11, but ended up losing 15-11 in the final for the final score there. So Irene and her partner Choi just won the bronze medal game, so they're moving on to playing for the gold. So we're gonna go watch that and see how it goes. All right, stay tuned. All right, everybody, we're on our final day here in Regina for the Nationals. So me and Irene got our 4.0 mix coming up in about an hour here. Right now we're just watching Brad Chapman and Kim Layton play against the team here in the 4.5 and up division, so basically the pro division. So really exciting matches going on around us right now, and we'll update you later.
Point.
All right, so starting off with day 1, we had me and Gilbert in men's 3.5. We had Irene and her partner Stacy in the women's 4.0 and up. So that was basically the open. So we'll start with Irene and Stacy really quick. So they had to play Kim Layton and Christina Chin right off the hop. So they already knew going into this bracket that this was going to be more of a litmus test for them, that they were going to be playing the top females in the country for this one. So they played Kim and Christina right off the hop. Lost both sets 11-3, but they scored 3 points each time, and they were earned points. They weren't off of unforced errors. So kudos to them for that. They went down to the B side of the bracket. They won their next game against a very good team, and then lost to the eventual bronze medalist team. So treating that one more as a let's see where we stand in comparison to like the top women. So they had a really fun experience with that. Me and Gilbert, on the other hand, we won our first game. We had a awesome match in our quarterfinal. We lost in the 3rd set. This is actually up on the Nationals YouTube channel. I want to say it's day 1. I want to say it's like court 1 or 2 at the Trade Center that we were playing on. If you want to see a really, really good back and forth match that me and Gilbert had. Lost that match, dropped down to the B side. We won our next one, and then we were 1 win away from getting into the bronze, but we lost that one. I want to say it was like 15-9 to the eventual bronze medalists, and super close. Finished in 4th place. Had a lot of fun playing with Gilbert. It was our first time playing together since playing with each other last year at the Western Regionals, where we won gold in the 3.0 together. So not too bad of a jump up from 3.0 for us. Getting 4th place at Nationals against some very, very good teams. Would have liked to kind of push over that hump and get that podium finish, but Gilbert played really well. I played really well. It was just a few little miscues or just missed hits at the very end there that lost our footing on, but not too bad to start off the day. All right, day two. So day two was me and Irene's mixed doubles event. This was a 4.0 to 4.5 division. So we were playing some very, very high level teams. We were actually the only team where both players were rated 3.5 going into this bracket. So we started on the one side of the bracket. We won our first game in straight sets. Events a very good team, some really, really good rallies in that game. We ended up going against in our next match Claudia and Corey, who are from Alberta, and Irene has played Claudia before in women's 4.0, and they're a 4.5 team, and they beat us in straight sets, but it was 11-9, 11-8. Really, really good rallies in that game. Me and Irene, after the game, realized that we had sort of the wrong strategy going into that game. We thought they were going to play one way, and they played a completely different way, but overall, we played pretty well. Dropped down to the B side of the bracket, won our next 3 games, pushing us once again, like me and Gilbert were the day before, into that game that will get you into the bronze medal game. So it was a 1 game to 15. We lost 15 to 13. I wish I had this game on video, or if it was on one of the courts that were being broadcasted. This was such a good game, such a tight matchup against this team. And this team that we lost to ended up going on and winning the silver medal in this 4.0 to 4.5 category. So all the teams that we lost to were technically 4.5 teams. On the following doubles day, mixed doubles day, they were playing in the 4.5 category, whereas me and Irene were playing in the 4.0. So um, if that bracket by itself doesn't bump me and Irene up into the 4.0 category, because we were sitting at like 3.95 going into this tournament, I don't know what will. But as disappointing as it was to coming fourth for a second day in a row for me, I had nothing to feel bad about that game. We played very, very well. It was a very tough team, and like I said, 15 to 13 final score in a game to 15. I'd rather lose like that than get blown out or blow somebody out. So took a lot away from that one, saying that, hey, we moved up to this level, but we're competing, we're fighting with all these teams, so we deserve to be here. All right, so day three, and this was kind of the not so fun day for me. This is the day that I was supposed to have my second men's 3.5 division, but my partner doesn't show up. I get to the courts early, check in, shoot him a text right away saying, "Hey, I'm in the blue tank top, white hats. I'm waiting by court 6 if you want to warm up before our game, so we can get to know each other." I didn't think I knew him. I didn't recognize the name, but I find out later in the day that I actually had met him in Vernon. Um, but we'll get to that in a bit. So the hour goes on. I shoot him a text saying, "Hey, you on your way?" Get the call to go to the court to start our match. I send him a text, "Hey, we're getting called to the court. Where are you?" Irene starts phoning him, no answer. She's texting him, no answer, and doesn't show up, and I have to forfeit. And because it's a forfeit, like I would have rather withdrawn, because then I could have maybe talking to the tournament director transferred to another division, because apparently there was some men in the 4.0 division that needed a partner and they were scrambling to find them once. But because it was because you can't withdraw without both players being there, it had to be a forfeit. So I was stuck in this division. So I forfeit the first game, have to wait around for the B side of the bracket to start, have to go stand on the court again, partner doesn't show up, and forfeit that game as well. So my day was done. As you saw from the earlier clip of the on-site update, I was super pissed. Still am a little bit pissed about it. And yeah, it was just not fun. Like, you travel that far, you spend all this money to go to this tournament thinking you're getting 5 days of games, and then for someone not even to phone or whatever, it's very, very frustrating. I hope this doesn't happen to anybody else. I didn't even receive anything from him until like 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. that night. And it was the typical excuse saying, oh, they had to work and their phone broke and whatever. I'm sorry, if you have to work and you're canceling flights, at some point you can shoot me a quick message saying, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. Maybe you can call the tournament director and find another partner." Like I'm sure there was plenty of people there. I would have taken a 60-year-old at this point. I just wanted games. So super frustrated about that. Had lots of nice people consoling me about it, saying, "Oh, that sucks," and feel sorry for you and stuff like that. So a lot of good people around trying to cheer me up about that. So, and unfortunately, I think that put a little bit of pressure on Irene where she didn't really need it. She was playing 4.0 for the first time in singles. There was only 4 women in the division, so they did a round robin, 1 game to 15, and then first and second would play for gold, third and fourth would play for bronze. So she plays her first game, wins that one fairly handily, actually. Plays the lady really, really well. Second game, she plays the lady who's eventually ends up being the gold medal winner. Um, Fought pretty well, but you could tell shots weren't quite falling for her. Her placement was a little bit off. Um, so by the time she gets to her third and final round robin game, it's basically between her and this lady are the ones who are going to face the other lady in the finals because they're both 1-1. So basically, the winner of this game goes to the finals, finishing in second to start, and then the loser will finish in third as the other lady went 0-3 and plays for bronze. So the game was really, really tight. This lady, even though she was quite a few years older than Irene, had very, very good placement shots. Irene fought really, really hard. I want to say the final score was like 15-12, 15-13. Um, and so Irene goes to the bronze medal game, and this is a 2 out of 3. Wins the first set pretty handily, but I'm watching her body language, and I can tell something's off. Couldn't quite put my finger on what it was, whether she was getting gassed or whether she was not playing her game properly, but loses the second set, so they go to a third and final set, and you can see that she just didn't have it. I don't know if she got in her own head. We talk about it after and got in her own head a little bit. My situation that day, she added pressure because she wanted to win something for me because didn't get to play. So she kind of psyched herself out of that game, didn't play her game, was missing shots she doesn't normally miss. And normally Irene is rock solid. Like she makes a mistake, she shakes it off right away and just goes right back at it. And like she's basically almost unflappable majority of the time when she plays. So this was the first time I really saw her kind of psych herself out. And after it was all done, she lost. So she was the only so she came in fourth out of 4. She was super mad with herself. So we kind of sat down, had a little powwow about it, um, and we talked it out. I got to talk out my stuff about the guy not showing up and how I want to do better because now I've lost a shot at a possible medal. I didn't know how well we were going to play together, but there's no chance of winning if you don't play, right? So she was upset because she had a 1 in 4 chance of getting a medal, and didn't get it. So both of us so far had been empty-handed 3 days in. So we had like a good strong, like not arguing or whatever, but we were trying to talk it out, almost like a therapist session to each other, trying to get our heads back on straight. And I thought by the end of the night, before we went to bed, we had done a good job of that. Moving on to day 4. So day 4 was women's doubles 4.0 for Irene, and she had got her partner Choi, who actually she had played 3.0 women's with in the Western Regionals in Regina last year, and they had won gold. Choi was currently playing at 3.5 and was actually very, very hesitant when Irene asked her to play with her for this tournament because she didn't think she was quite ready to play at the 4.0 level. I, on the other hand, had men's 3.5 singles. I had moved up from 3.0. I had finished fourth at provincials in 3.0. This might have been a bit of a lofty jump for me. I'd only ever won one singles event since we started playing, and that was at Western Regionals last year. The main reason why I went into this group is because I knew 4 of the players in the group who I've played before and I've had good matches with, like, whether I've won or lost, but I was on par with them. So I was like, okay, well, if they're playing in that one, I think I can move up and play in that one. I don't want to go into 3.0, blow everybody out just to get a medal. Like I don't. For me, that's not what I want. I'm going to nationals. We're playing people from all over the country. You want to have the challenge. You want to play the best of the best, at least at what your level you're at. So, got into 3-5. Had to play um, who's turned into be a good pickleball buddy of ours now, Chris, who we've played against Chris in mix. I've played against him in men's doubles and stuff like that. Very, very good player. Very, very good singles player. He beat me in the first set. I win the second set to force a third. And I want to say the final score of the third set was like 11-8 for Chris. It was a very, very good battle. I have no problem losing a match like that. I held my own really well. I made him work for it. And on the cherry on the top of this was the winner of this got to play the guy who was supposed to be my partner the day before. So I go to Chris after the match. Okay, I need you to win the next one at least. Um, just because I was still a little bit bitter about it. Still kind of am bitter right now about it, but I was like, okay. And then he was like, okay, yeah, I'll get him for you, and he ended up winning that match. So kudos to Chris for that. Um, so I dropped down to the B side, and then I had to play Manny, who's normally Chris's men's double partner, and I've played Manny before, and we always have good matches. I actually got down pretty quickly in this one. I was down 10-4 at one point, managed to battle my way back to an 11-11 game, and then few rolls didn't go my way. Manny made some really good shots, and he ends up beating me 15-11. So my day is done, but singles to me has always been like the bonus event for tournaments. I don't go in there expecting to win. I go in there expecting to challenge myself and go as far as I can push myself. So, and it was my first time playing at the 3.5 level, and the fact that neither of the two games I got blown out, I made the guys work for it. I was happy with that performance. So I run over to the Trade Center where Irene and Choi are playing, and they had just lost a match that dropped them down to the B side. Um, they had to play a very tough game against Caitlin again. Irene keeps running into Caitlin at these tournaments now, so um, I would love to see if there's a tournament in Alberta, if Irene's usual partner Maya isn't available and Caitlin's usual partners aren't available. I'd like to see the two of them team up and see what type of team that would be. That would be really interesting. But yeah, so Irene and Choi are playing Caitlin and her partner, and they pull out the win. It was a very tough match, which moved them into one more game that they had to win to get into the bronze medal game. So they end up handling that team fairly well, get into the bronze medal game. And then because of the size of the bracket for this one, they made the bronze medal game a best 2 out of 3 instead of a 1 game to 15. So, and that game went to 3 sets. They were playing Chrissy, who we've played before, and actually Irene's partner from the previous women's doubles, Stacy. That game goes to 3 sets. Irene and Choi pull out the win, so they move on to the finals. Chrissy and Stacy get bronze. Very, very good match. I do have that one up on our YouTube channel if you want to check it out. So they move on to the gold medal game, playing against the team that actually knocked them down to the B side. So because they're coming from the B side, they got to beat this team in the best 2 out of 3 and then win a single game to 15 if they want to get the gold. So the first set starts, and honestly, Irene and Choi weren't quite playing. They got up. They were up, I want to say 8-5, and end up losing this first set 11-9. They kind of stopped playing their game for a bit there, and the other team took advantage and won. This team was no slouch by any means. Second set, Irene and Choi play their game to perfection. They win this one like 11-3, forcing a third set. So getting to the third set, very, very back and forth. When Irene and Choi were on and playing their game plan, they were going up in points, and then for some reason they'd step away from their game plan, and the other team would catch back up. So at one point it was 9-9. Irene and Choi pull out the 11-9 win to force the single game to 15. And then, so in the single game to 15, Irene and Choi got down actually fairly quickly, and but then managed to battle their way back. The game was tied 12-12 at one point, and then Irene and Choi ended up pulling away and getting the 15-12 win to take home the gold. So winning gold at nationals at 4.0. Big accomplishment for them. Big accomplishment for Choi, who wasn't even confident with herself coming up to the 4.0 level. So big shout out to her. And then big shout out obviously to Irene. Gets our for our team's first medal of the tournament, and it's a gold at nationals. So she's happy. I'm happy. We're rolling now. So one day left, and we move on to that one. So final day, mixed 4.0. I want to say it was 19 and up or whatever the age was. It was basically open age, and this was the only day where the bracket didn't move smoothly. We started right late at 1 p.m. And the way the bracket was set up, there was a single game that was two teams playing, and then it would merge into like what you would consider the final 16 bracket or whatever it was. So me and Irene were down on the bottom of this bracket. For some reason, our game started first instead of this other game that basically, if this game doesn't finish, the rest of the bracket's going to have to wait for this game to go. So we play our game first, we win. Really good rallies with this team. There was a local team from Regina. And I want to say we won. I want to say it was like 11-5, 11-6 or something like that in straight sets. So we then have to wait about 40 minutes ish for the other game to finish, and then we play our quarterfinal game. And in the quarterfinal game, we lose our first set, win the second set, and then in the third set, we were actually down 6-0 on the side switch, and then we ended up winning 11-7. This was an insanely good game. Once again, this is the one game I would have loved to have recorded, just to see how well we were playing after that first set was done. Me and Irene were clicking on all cylinders. Our game, we were working our game plan to perfection, and eventually just outworked the other team. I got a really good ATP shot. Irene had some really good firefight battles, and it was just a really fun match to watch, to the point where the people that were cheering for the other team gave us an applause and gave us some fist bumps at the end of the game saying, hey, great match, and stuff like that. So with that win, we guaranteed ourselves a medal. We were into the semis. This is where that starting that other game late kind of bit us in the butt. So we had to wait 4 hours for that semifinal game to start, just because of how the bracket started. And this, like I said, everything up until this point at this tournament was flowing so smoothly. I don't think we had to wait more than 40 minutes tops for a game to go after you've won a game. And yeah, so like the other team, the team we were waiting for, they played a three-set game, and then had to play us. So we'd been sitting for 4 hours waiting to get to this team, and we were trying to keep ourselves warm as we were going onto an empty court, stinking with each other, trying to do firefights with each other. At one point, we even got one of the other teams who got stuck waiting to rally with us. They were on the B side, but they came and rallied with us a bit to trying to hype ourselves back up, get ourselves rolling again, and we just couldn't really get it going. This team comes off an insanely competitive 3-set match, and we're playing them in the semis. And you can actually find this one up on court 2 on the Queen City Pickleball Hub courts on the Mileflex Nationals YouTube channel. And we lost 11-5, 11-5, and it almost took us a full set to kind of get back into it. Like we had lost all of our momentum. I've gone back and rewatched the video, and we looked sluggish. It's like we lost. It's like, I know it was the last day of the tournament, but we're both in pretty good shape. But it was like our body was reacting just that fraction of a second slower. Our shots weren't as crisp. Our dinks were a little higher than what they normally were, and we just didn't have it that match. And so that was very, very frustrating for us. So we dropped down to the bronze medal game. So then we have to wait for the. So then there's another match that we have to wait for. So we had to wait for about another hour before the bronze medal game. And the same thing, this team had come up from the B side, and they had just played a very intense game to 15. I want to say they won it 15-12 or something like that. And this had Chrissy from Irene's women's doubles event. Her and her partner Kaylin were coming up. And same thing, they were rolling, they were on fire. Me and Irene sat for 4, played a match, and then sat for an hour. We got we this was a better match that we played, but when I go back and watch it, we're still very sluggish. We were very hesitant. We weren't jumping on shots that we should have jumped on. Um, we got down, but we did battle back to make it 7-7. And then I think we ended up losing, I want to say 15-8, 15-9, something like that. So we got the bronze, which I'm stoked about. We got onto the podium. We're a 3-5 team that got bronze at nationals in a 4.0 tournament. But honestly, and I don't want to use the excuse that we didn't play our best and we didn't win. The other team deserved to win, but I can't not say that that 4-hour layover didn't affect us. Like it was the kind of the same thing. Like I said on the last podcast about the provincials, where I played my singles and then the day got postponed to the next day because of the storms, and you lose all your momentum. You're not making your shots as crisp. So it's like if I would have loved to see what that semifinals match would have looked like if it would have started within 30 minutes to 40 minutes of us coming off of that quarterfinal game that we played in. Like both teams would have been rolling, so the other team still would have been rolling. They would have still come off their amazing match, but I would have liked to see what that match would have looked like. Because I don't think me and Irene would have been as sluggish as we were. I think we would have been rolling a little bit better and at least made it a better match than what it was. And then same thing with the semis because of the 4-hour, and then that's like I was getting texts from a bunch of our club members back home here, and like they were saying, "Geez, you're still waiting for matches. That's a long day. Like you started at 1. The medals didn't get awarded for this event. This was the last event of the entire tournament. The bracket started at 1. The medals weren't awarded till 9:25. So there was an 8 hours for a 12 team bracket. That is a long time. Normally a 12 team bracket does not take that long. You can watch almost any other tournament, a 12 team bracket should not take that long. Now there was some really good marathon games that went to 3 sets, but I just think starting off with that one game not being played first kind of shot the bracket in the foot and kind of just messed it up from there. And like I said, like other than that, the rest of the tournament was so smooth, like very, very little wait times for stuff. Like at no point did I think I was getting cold or I was getting stiff waiting for matches to start. And yeah, it was very, very well run, very, very well organized. This was and aside from my partner not showing up, but that's not on the tournaments thing. So yeah, so we got the bronze. So hey, bronze first stepping up into 4.0 after playing 3.5 at provincials and getting a bronze medal at 4.0. I can't be mad about that. Like I can be annoyed with the individual matches performance, but our performance as a whole as a team, we played very, very well. Nothing to be ashamed of with that. So I'm very, very happy about that, and I'm looking forward to next tournament, which honestly I don't know when that's going to be because right now when I'm looking at pickleball brackets for upcoming tournaments, there's nothing close for me. I know there's something going on in Calgary in September, but at that point my kids are starting school sports, so it's really tough in the wintertime for us to go to stuff unless it's in like Edmonton, Spruce Grove area. So we'll see how that goes. So moving on to the tournament as a whole, um, just like last year when they hosted the Western Regionals, this was a very, very well run event. They had booths with like Franklin had Pickleball had a booth. There was a Boston Pizza booth. There was a Mioflex booth. There was lots and lots and lots of stuff for us as players to look at. Um, there were so many athletes. So I think there was like 629, 39 athletes at this event. So meeting all these really awesome people from different parts of the country who I don't normally get to play with was really fun. Like the only time I played someone from who I had played before was in the men's singles, where both of my opponents were guys I had played, if not in singles against, in mixed against. Every other match, with the exception of one in mixed, was playing against people I'd never played against before. So Really enjoyed that. Loved that me and Irene were able to up our game, playing at that 4.0 to 4.5 and the 4.0 and up divisions. Awesome that Irene got to play against some of the top women in Canada in that open division with Stacy there. And yeah, like aside from that last day and it was just that last bracket. It was that was the only bracket that took forever. Um, very well run. The medals look amazing. If you haven't seen them, I suggest going on to. You can go on Facebook. You can go on Instagram. There's so many spots where a lot of the pros have posted what their medals look like. Oh, another thing was they had a really cool little photo booth spot where they had like these giant pickleball paddles. We took pictures with the kids with those. And that was really fun. We did take the kids with us for this one. There was lots of neat stuff to go see around Regina. I know the previous year we had gone to the RCMP museum that's there. There was a sky park with like rope climbing and all that stuff that we took them to this time, and just had a blast. Like 5 days of pickleball was awesome. Getting to see the pros play up close, like we got to watch Steve Deacon and Brad Chapman take on some amazing players like Charles Neufeld, like Mark Clemenson, and a bunch of other big name players. We got to see Christina Chin and Kim Layton take on some of the top female athletes and like Kim Brent, and actually got to sit on the sidelines and watch those matches. Another big highlight for me. So this was the first time, aside from provincials, where someone walked up to me and said, "Hey, Gorms from the podcast," and it was Christina Chin from who's a pro player who plays for the Brewers in the CNPL, and very nice person, very approachable. So is her partner Mark. Got to talk to them a few different times during the tournament. Got to talk to a few other players who I hadn't seen in a while from Regina and from the surrounding areas. So I had a blast. Had so much fun watching some of these pro players play. Got some really good just tips and just watching how they move, how they play. Really good ideas on how to improve me and Irene's game. We know that um, we can still improve ourselves just from how we played. We know that we're on the up swing with it. So super excited for if we do manage to find another tournament this year. Super excited for that. If not, for the start of the pickleball season next year for us at least. We got our club. Our club is a winter club, so we're going to be that's going to be starting up in September. So we're going to be getting like 4 or 5 days a week of play time, because we usually only get like 1 day a week, and then if we take ourselves out and do some drilling during the summer. So super excited for the start of that. Then of course I got my kids stuff with their sports going on. So this is kind of the last tournament, at least for now, as far as I know, that we'll be covering. I'll be covering for this year. Um, this very coming weekend, we have the CNPL Western Split, and originally I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it, but while we were in Regina, got a message that they want Irene, because she's eligible, because she was in the draft, to be there as an alternate. So what that means is she's going to be there. She's going to be like warming up and stuff like that. And if somebody on one of the pro teams goes down and they need a substitute, she's there to jump in. They did this in the Eastern Split with some local players from Toronto who were in the draft. So that's super excited for Irene. I'm so proud of her for that. And so, yes, I'm going to be going and cheering her on, cheering a bunch of the players on. I know Chapman's making his debut. Nathan Choi's making his debut because they were out because they were playing in pro tournaments in the States for the Eastern Split. I'm trying to stay unbiased, but after talking with the Brewer team, they're slowly becoming my favorite team with Christina and Mark there, and they also got Jeff and Susan on that team. So I'm trying to stay unbiased just because I want to cover this appropriately. But after meeting them in person, they're just as charismatic and just as nice as what I thought they were after watching interviews with them on the previous thing. So shout out to Christina, especially for one, recognizing me. That made my day that day. And just being a fan of the podcast. So We'll see you guys there at the CNPL. I'll be there cheering everybody on, and then I'll obviously have some live video to cover that. Um, Final little tidbit before I wrap this one up. I do have some news on the horizon. It's Monday right now when I'm recording this, so there's no pen to paper yet, but probably by when I do the CNPL Western Split review, I'll have a pretty fun announcement to make. I'm going to leave that little tease with that, and I will see you guys next week probably. Because how many games there's going to be played, I'll probably get the podcast out hopefully by Wednesday or Thursday next week. Because there's going to be lots of matches to watch, and I'll get to watch almost all of them because I'll be there in person. So stay tuned for that, and some exciting news coming on that podcast. All right, so I'll see you guys next time.
Left hand. Look at that. What a way to end it with an overhead smash. And not just an overhead smash, but a jumping overhead smash by Irene. So Irene and Andrew from East River, Alberta, gold medalists.